stars like you know.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Aries of Ram. What I'm gonna make today is a video about my dad again. This is a story about the time that my dad wanted me to be a Israelite, or like those people that you will see in purple and gold, and like they would preach on the streets or in churches with Bibles in their hands and just
abusing yourself, but you can't overindulge in the world. That's what a lot of brothers make mistakes and they overdo it, brother. You understand? This is the word. This is the white man's word. This is ran by Satan, but Satan
basically just yelling, and I just wanted to share my experience with it and just show the world why I didn't go along with it, and why I feel like it's like not the best thing to do. But I can't tell anybody what to do. This is just my experience and my story. This happened in the state of Atlanta, Georgia. I had just went back there to live with my father for a short period of time, just because a lot was happening in my life back home in Jamaica, and I had to move back here. And if you like watch my other story times, you will start to see that my videos are starting to link with each other. I'm not telling these stories in order. It's like not in the right order, but if you can like watch them and just figure things out, you will see which videos are in order. Eventually I'll like put part 1, part 2 in the titles, but for now I'm just gonna tell these stories. I actually wrote down the story first in my phone just to make sure I'm saying all the right things. Like I didn't forget anything. It's just better for me to write the stories down first and then tell the story. So this happened when I was around the age of 16. I had just moved back to Atlanta from Jamaica because I was in a situationship with my stepdad and my mother. So I had to leave. One day I was just chilling in my room because I had my own bedroom there, and this was a time when I just didn't feel welcomed in the house. I just didn't feel like the energy was right. And this is when I really felt the lowest in my life around this time, so it was really bad for me. And yeah, one day I was just chilling in the house, just being by myself, because that is what I always do. I am kind of an introvert. When I was living there, I was mostly an introvert. I just didn't want to speak a lot to a lot of people, and I just felt really down at this time in my life. So one day I heard a whole bunch of preaching on the television, and I heard a whole bunch of men just basically yelling and shouting and just speaking from the top of their voice, reading a Bible, and just saying how Black people are the true gods, and just saying a whole bunch of like revolutionary things that you wouldn't usually hear. Well, for me, I didn't usually hear this. I was brought up with Christianity, and I was never told that we were powerful as melanated people. So I was very interested. I kept listening, but I was still in my room, and just the time of just keep listening, I just eventually went outside. I walked out of my bedroom, and this is a 2-story house, so I was upstairs watching the TV over the balcony, and it was men in purple and gold uniforms holding books in their hands and just preaching on the streets somewhere in like churches with mics in front of them, preaching to an audience.
Ye shall the aprons flame that sitteth not, and thou be angry with them and of them. Wait a minute, was we not carried away captives? He ain't gonna tell you to repent. I bet you he ain't gonna tell you keep God's command. Let's just walk in home together as a people. Neighborhoods. The real reason why the police don't.
And I was just like, what the heck? He was just saying a lot of interesting things, but at the same time alarming things, like how the other races in this world are not God's people. They didn't come from God, and how they're just not godly people. So I was just like intrigued and kind of interested at the same time. So I went downstairs, and my dad, my sisters, and my stepmother was there. And I went downstairs and I started just asking questions, looking at the videos. And my dad explained to me what all of this was, how we got about it, how we learned about it. It's basically telling me the ones with the cotton-like hair, because it said that in like Genesis. I don't remember. Telling me how the ones with the afro hair, the ones that have their hair grow up, with melanated skin, the people that are just different from other races are the true gods, which I understand, but at the same time, he kept saying how the rest of the races are not godly, they didn't come from God, and they are not of this world, basically. And that part I didn't agree with, because it's like, okay, maybe some people are not gods also, but I feel like they're still great people. You know, these people still have souls. These people still came from the Most High. So there was just a lot of things that he was saying that I didn't agree with, and it really raised a lot of red flags. But at the same time, it enlightened me too, because I did not know that us melanated people are this powerful, ones that built the pyramids. I didn't know about all of that, and with this religion, it woke me up, but also it woke me up to like the bad parts of how people can think of other races when it comes to separation, aka religion. So after just listening to what he had to say, he encouraged me to watch more videos and just learn from them and whatever. So when you're around this age, especially when you didn't grow up with your father, you automatically feel like you want to impress them. You feel like you want to make them smile. That's how I felt with my dad. I wanted to impress him. I wanted him to see that I was basically one of his children. I always felt separated when it came to family, because I know that I'm different, and I just always had this anxiety that I would just never be enough to impress my parents, which I am at peace with right now in my life. I honestly do not care. I'm my own person, and if you don't like me, you don't like me. But then when I was younger, I didn't understand that. So I would like watch the videos, even though I was so bored and just so irritated to even hear some things that these people were saying. I was just listening and just going along with it, because I wanted my dad to see that I cared about the religion also, whatever. So these people would talk about they are the true Israelites, they are the true people that God talks about, they're God's children. It's like they were saying the right things, but it's like there were jealousy and envious things said in it. So they would be like, white people are different, they didn't come from God, their fingers look like chicken legs. Like, there was just so many things. I'm just trying to I'm trying to remember all of them, because it's really funny now that I'm thinking about it and telling the story. Yeah, I really don't want to offend anybody, but this is how I grew up. This is what I grew up hearing. So I'm not making fun of no race, no religion, none of that. I'm just telling you my story. Excuse me. So Okay, so there was this time, right? This story may be all over the place because I'm literally just trying to remember everything, trying to remember as much as I can. This was a few years ago, not too long ago, but about like 5 years ago. I remember one time my father's brother was there, and I'm not gonna put your business out there, but I just want to say something just so I can like keep telling the story properly. So I remember one time he was there, and my dad was just basically saying, "Oh, you should not be a white woman." My dad's brother had a white wife. She was white, and they had children and beautiful two kids. And I just remember a time that my dad just telling his brother how he shouldn't be with her, and it's abomination to be with the other race, and you shouldn't have had kids with them. Now those kids are going to hell. Just a whole bunch of bullshit. And I was just like, wow, that is so disrespectful. Like, this man is married, and you're going to say that his kids are going to hell? Like, who does that, you know? Dad said a lot of crazy things towards my brother that day. That's so wrong. Even my sisters were saying that it was wrong, but they were kids. I was a kid. Like, what can we say, you know? So after that, like, after seeing that altercation, I realized that this religion was causing separation, and I was just like, okay, but what about unity? Like, everybody is different at the end of the day. Doesn't matter how your hair looks, doesn't matter how your skin looks, it doesn't matter where you came from. At the end of the day, where is the love? Where is the unity? I realized that this religion started causing a lot of separation and a lot of anxiety when I tried to put myself into it, tried to like it. But yeah. After a while, I started realizing a lot of things. So I'm just looking back on my notes. So I started realizing that my sisters really liked this religion. With this Israelite situation thing, this situation, there was a lot of changes that had to be applied that I wasn't ready for, that I just wasn't even, because mind you, I was never a Christian. I never really thought myself as a religious person in general. So with all of this happening, and mind you, this happened in like a few months, like a short period of months. So it was just like, bam, in my face. And I was just like, I'm not even a Christian, and you want to put this religion on me? Like, you want me to dress differently now? All right, so after a while of like just learning about this religion and reading from the Bible and just discerning basically from the Bible of what it really truly means, some things made sense to me. Like, some of the stories started resonating with me, but at the same time, when it came to other races, it was like, oh, but it's not for them. And that really was bothering me because I'm a person of love. I don't look at somebody and say, oh, I don't like you because of your color. I don't like you because you came from here. I don't like you because you do. I don't. No, I'm not like that. All I see is green when I look at people. If you're a bad person, I stay away from you. If you're a good person, I stay with you. That's how I am. So it was just very conflicting to learn about this religion and change up a lot of things that I wasn't even ready to change. One day, my dad was like, oh, okay guys, so we're gonna have to start changing the way how we dress. If you know me well, I am a person that loves to be creative. I love to express myself. I'm a very goofy person. Most of the time, if you're around me, you will feel very playful because that's how I am. When he told us, and like the way how I dress, I wear shorts, I wear pants, I wear skirts, I wear everything that a woman can wear, okay? But when this religion came about, my dad started telling me that I cannot wear spaghetti straps. I couldn't wear like shirts like this. They told me, well, it was like everybody. It wasn't even just me. It was me, my sisters, his wife. We all had to change the way how we dressed for this new religion. But I'm speaking on behalf of myself. So I couldn't wear any short sleeves. I couldn't wear anything that separated my legs, meaning pants or shorts. I could not express myself enough anymore. I had to wear long sleeves and skirts and dresses that covered my whole entire body. I had to cover my hair. Which was like giving me Jewish vibes, and I'm not coming for anybody once again. It was just giving me Jewish vibes, Muslim vibes, and I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm not about to be in no other religion. If I don't like Christianity, what makes you think I'm going to like Muslim or Jew? No, I was always anti-religious. I never believed in religion because religion creates separation and hate between people, and I was just never about that. So when I heard this information, I was just like, in my head, I like, what? Huh? Like, bitch, no. Every cell in my body was like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, my soul was so mad. Like, my spirit was mad, okay? So, after learning this information, and I realized that I'm living with my dad, I'm going to school right now, and I have to finish school and like just get my life first in order, and just realizing that I don't really have much to say because I live in this house and there's nowhere else for me to go at the moment. I just went with it, guys. I went with it. So you told me that I couldn't dress the same way how I wanted to dress. This was really depressing for me because, one, I'm already sad because I'm living somewhere where I don't want to be. I'm around a whole bunch of people that I never really felt 100% comfortable with, and I just felt really lonely. And then to put this right on top of my back was just it for me. It was just it for me. That really pushed me into my depression even deeper. I felt like I couldn't express myself anymore. I felt like I couldn't even be myself. And I was already struggling with my own self-image. So to put me like in that situation where I couldn't even dress the way how I wanted to dress was just so hard for me, and I literally wanted to cry every single day. So when I was going to school, I used to have to wear dresses. If I didn't feel like wearing a dress, I would have to like turn the dress into a skirt and just wear long sleeve. And I don't know, like, you know, when you live in Georgia, like the weather is like sometimes cold, sometimes hot. It was either or, and there was just times I just felt so uncomfortable wearing long clothes, and I just wanted to wear something short just so I can breathe, so my skin can just feel breathable. You know, like when it's too hot, you don't want to wear too much clothes. That's how I felt, and I just felt trapped. I remember times walking in school, going down the stairs, almost tripping because my skirt is too fucking long, or like just feeling awkward, feeling like everybody's talking about me, like, why is she dressed like that? Oh my gosh, she's so weird, you know? And on top of that, I had to cover my hair, and I was just like, why am I doing this? Like, in my head, I was just so sad. I was even failing grades, bro. Like, it was just crumbling. Everything in my life was just crumbling, bro. And I was just I was so drained, guys. So I started rebelling internally, mentally. I started rebelling. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be an Israelite. I don't want to read a Bible every single day. I don't want to do this. And honestly, guys, I was one of those people. I never liked the Bible. I never trusted the Bible. Like, I was just like, I don't trust it. So I was just always iffy on it, and everything about this religion was just rubbing me in the wrong way. and I started mentally fighting. I kept saying, you know what, fuck this shit, I ain't doing this. So one day, my dad said that we're gonna go to this church like temple thing. He said that it was like a church, but they don't call it a church, it's more of like a temple. So I was like, great, now we're going to a church slash temple, whatever. So of course we had to wear long sleeves, wear our long dresses, long skirts, whatever you want to call it, and cover our hair. For me to keep expressing myself and kept feeling like myself, like Deanna, I decided to get myself into makeup. I had like a few makeup things, like I had some lip glosses, I had lipsticks, I had a little bit of eyeshadow, whatever. Like I had like the most basic makeup ever, and that was a way of me feeling like I can still be myself by putting on makeup, because I couldn't express myself wearing clothes anymore, because I was dressing like a granny. Like what? No. So this is like really when I really started getting into makeup. If you watch my old videos, you can see that I had a lot of makeup videos. That's the time when I really started getting into makeup, and I felt really pretty. I was like, okay, you know what, I can't express myself with clothes, but I can definitely express myself with makeup. And I have a beautiful face. God gave me my face and I love it. And I really feel like that's when my self-love really started to grow, when I started wearing makeup, which is so strange. I know some people would be like, wait, what? Makeup is covering your face. How is that going to start self-love? Girl, boy, you don't understand. Makeup is fun. It's art, okay? But that is not what the video is about. Just doing my makeup and just looking at my face, seeing how my face structure is, how my eyes are, how I did my eyebrows, it just made me feel like I was deserving, and it made me feel strong. So before we went to this temple, we like my stepmother, she made some food, like she made some sandwiches with the Hawaiian bread, you know, the Hawaiian bread. That bread is so good, and with some ham and cheese and some other snacks, which was lit, because you know me, I love food, so I was happy about that. And on our way to the church, it was like probably like an hour-long drive. Honestly, it was really far. When I saw the church, it was like in a parking lot, a really big parking lot. And when I first saw the church, it was like a regular church. It looked regular. And when we were walking there, it's like my soul was like, you're not going to enjoy this at all. And I was just like, damn, like, fuck it, let me just see what it looks like. So as soon as I stepped in, I smelled incense. If you don't know what incense is, it's like long sticks with different types of smells. You can, all different types of smells, all depends on what you like. And yeah, when I walked in there, it was just filled with incense. I forgot this, like I don't remember the smells, but it wasn't really that pleasant to me. Like I didn't really like the smell, and it was just very cloudy because of all the incense. They were probably burning like 20 incense in there. And like the church or the temple was like a good size. It was like, I don't know, it was a good size. But the fact that the incense was like clouding up the room, it was kind of small. First, I saw some people in the same uniforms. I saw purple and gold, and just other people in different colors, and men in suits, whatever, just like church, you know, but just more fancier or prettier. So I saw like the room was separated. Like on the left side there was men sitting, on the right side, or is it the right or the left? either or, and the other side for women. And I was like, okay, that's kind of strange. I'm saying this in my head. I did have a suspicious look on my face, like I absolutely know that for a fact. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, what the heck, why is it separated? And when I went in, there was a lady, I believe, and then I was about to say hi, but she said to put your hands together and say shalom. And shalom means peace in Hebrew. And the first time just doing this, like bowing and saying it, I felt stupid, honestly, because I was like, I never bowed to anyone before, so why am I doing this? Why am I bowing to somebody I don't even know? So like saying the whole shalom part was really cool. I mean, I agree with that. Shalom in Hebrew is peace. Like I like that. But like actually bowing down and saying it was kind of weird to me. So I walked in and I sat on the side where women were supposed to sit. And then it was noisy. I remember it being noisy because everybody was saying hi. It was a good amount of people. And I was just sitting there just looking around, just basically observing my environment. And the whole time my spirit was just telling me, no, we should not be here. Like, you know, I just felt so uncomfortable, and I really felt uncomfortable. I guess my sisters were okay with it, and so was my stepmom. My dad was extravagantly happy. He was happy. He was walking around saying hi. He sat down, and oh, that's another thing with the men. The men did not really have to change how they dressed. They could just really wear anything they wanted as long as their bodies were covered, just like the women. But obviously men don't really have that much to change anyways. But besides that, I just sat there and just listened and just watched everybody. So after a few minutes, I believe 2 men came up in the front of the church or temple. So like it was like a stage, like a little raised stage in front of us, while everybody else was sitting in the audience with the separation, and then like you will go outside after. If I can, I'll put like a little drawing of here, like to just show you how it looks. I'll just try. And I believe 2 men came up in front of the podium with the mics in front of them, just like how I saw on the videos that I used to watch before. And I was like, okay, that's kind of surreal. So after that, they were saying shalom or whatever, just saying hi, and I was just watching, and they just started talking. And then after a while of them just basically preaching and reading from the Bible, one, they would read from a verse in the Bible and then explain it, and then talk about how it's happening in society and how it's playing out. So like, say they would read a verse from Revelations, they would say, oh, so and so is going to happen on this day, where viruses and sickness will happen to humanity. Like, say there's a verse like that in the Bible, because I don't read the Bible, so I don't know. So they would say the verse, and then they will explain what it is, like what the verse is saying in the Bible, and then they would talk about it, how it's like playing out in society in real life. And I was just like, okay, interesting, cool. And they just kept doing that over and over and over. There was times that they said things that was just like, they would just say, oh, but white people are abomination, they came from the devil, and their spirits are not going to go to heaven because of their leader. They're not going to grow wings to fly to heaven. Like, there was just a lot of alarming things that I heard, and I would like say more, but I honestly don't remember. This was like 5 years ago, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. So they would just say things like that, And there was a time that I literally wanted to raise my hand and say something, because like I was always a debating person. I like to debate. I like to talk about things. I like to have deep conversations. So when I heard them say certain things like that, I really wanted to genuinely raise my hand and ask them a question. But one time my stepmom, she was like, women are not allowed to speak. And I was like, what? Women are not allowed to speak. And then it clicked in my head, like, oh, that's why they separated the chairs. Like, that's why the whole room is like split in half. Rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, first of all, in my head, Bible literally says in Genesis that woman came here first. Eve was here first. So isn't that kind of contradicting to put men to speak first, to speak only? Like, it just didn't make sense. It kind of seemed like they were contradicting themselves, because women came here first, so we should be the ones to speak up. We should be the ones to lead. But in that religion, it was only men that were allowed to speak in the church. And I was just like, whoa. So you're telling me that I can't speak? I didn't like that, and that's when I really started to look down on this religion in general. They were talking about tribes, of how black people are in different tribes and we can't like mix ourselves up with different types of tribes. Just like how they were saying that we cannot have babies with other races, is the same way how they were saying in these tribes, which was so confusing. I understand now, because but then I did not understand what tribes were, but now I understand what tribes is. But the way how they were explaining it was just so confused. They were just saying how you have to get married to this tribe or your tribe. You cannot mix up with different tribes, and you have to get married at this age. It was just a whole bunch of mix up, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I just didn't like it. I was so uncomfortable, guys. I just didn't like anything about it. Mind you, I have learned some great things from it. Okay, I realized that I have power. I understood that as a melanated woman, or just melanated people in general, that we actually have more power, and we are not just slaves, and we are actually royalty. I have learned amazing things from this religion, and I've learned that we have power and we are not who they make us seem to be, especially women. Even though the Bible demonizes women, I still learned that we are powerful and we should honor who we are. They did say a lot of great things about love and like unity and all of that, but there was some things that were said that were of separation and hate. And they also spoke on other religions, especially Christianity, of how it separates humans and how the first war was created by them. There was some really great information when it came to this religion also. It was good and bad, but the cons rubbed me more than the pros. And I feel like the most part that really annoyed me the most was the fact that, oh yeah, and I had to change food. We had to change the way how we eat too. And when I was a kid, I didn't understand that eating bread and eating certain types of food can affect your spirit, and how it allows you to open up more with God. I didn't understand any of that when it came to God. I wasn't in Christianity, I wasn't in no religion, but I knew God was real. I wasn't that close, okay? So I had to change the way how I believed in God, basically. I had to change the way how I dressed. I had to change my food, and I had to go to a whole different church. I had to be around different people, different vibes. It was just too much for me. I had to change, like, remind you, I was in a whole different state, different school, different environment. I was living with different people, aka my father and his family. Like, and then I had to change my religion, and I was depressed. It was just so much on me, and I was just so over it. This is the time when I literally listened to myself, my intuition, out of self-love, and decided to leave. I decided to leave. Like, I literally remember calling my grandma and telling her, hey, can you tell my auntie that I want her to pick me up? Along those lines, I said something like that. I basically wanted to move to New York. Like, I wanted to live with my grandma because I could not live with my dad. My dad was on some bullshit. I was already sad and I had to live with him. And he wanted me to be in a religion that I was just not going along with. There was times that everybody decided to go to the church, but I was just so frustrated and over it that I literally told them I'm not going with them. And I would just be in the house for like 6 hours alone until 12 o'clock in the night. That's when they would come back. By the way, this church was long. It wasn't even a regular church where you just stay there for like 2 hours or 1 hour. This church was like 6 hours long of them just preaching. Basically, just reprogramming your mind. I really feel like it was just something deeper than a religion. I felt like it was a cult because they were just preaching for hours. Hours, bro. Just reading from the Bible, telling verses, and just explaining it, and then just telling you how it's happening in society. I just felt like it was just reprogramming, and I was just not with it. Like, my soul was just saying, get out of here. Like, literally, like the movie Get Out. That's how my soul was when I was in that church, in that house, around my dad. I just felt darkness, heaviness. Like, the whole house just felt heavy. I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like I was unwanted in the house. Like, nada. That's why I always stayed in my room. And I feel like that's why my depression got so bad. But God came through for me and told me, you know what, just call your grandma, call your family, and tell them that you want to leave. And I literally said, you know what, I don't want to be in this religion anymore. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I don't want to live with my dad anymore. I don't want to live with this family. Nobody really likes me. I just feel like the black sheep. So I called my grandma and my auntie and told her I want to leave. I want to move out. Like, I don't want to come back. And yeah, that was like my escape. Like, that was how I left living with my dad completely. Like, after that day, I left and never returned. And I felt like I got myself out of a deep hole, because after I left, I felt like my depression was just getting a lot better. It's so draining to tell these stories. A very dark experience for me. I'm gonna put up like videos and like pictures of this religion. Like, I think that's where they most of their churches are, in Atlanta. And I just didn't like it. My experience with it was awful, and I would never want to do it again. I did not like the energy in it. It just wasn't for me. And I'm not downplaying on nobody that's in religions or is a part of this community. You do what you want to do, that's your life. But for me, I didn't want to do it. And yeah, this is the story of how my dad wanted me to be an Israelite, and I wasn't with it. I wasn't with it at all. And yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this video, this story, please give me a big thumbs up.